And we're back. What took me so long? Why did it take me like 8 months between major updates? Well, I will tell you. I burned out. I love Monster Rancher, don't misunderstand. I always have and always will. But I went through 1, 2, Advanced 2, and the better part of 4 pretty much back to back. It was kind of exhausting, not gonna lie. So, in the downtime, I have raised up a new trio, one of whom I still have in my ranks for reasons that are a little bit too stupid to explain, but I'll get to that in a minute. There was a lot of grinding, like a lot of grinding and a lot of RNG seeding because there were very, very specific training gadgets I needed to get my hands on, or elsewise this LP might not ever end. Now, thankfully, I did eventually get everything I needed, which should hopefully carry us into the end game. As for why Shenron is still here, apparently he has a longer lifespan than the others because he got the retirement warning like way after them. And also because there's only 5 freezer slots. Yeah, at most in this game you can have 10 monsters. You can have the 5 on your ranch and the 5 in the freezer, and that's it. It's one of the most frustrating elements of the game, I'll be honest. It actually makes freezing a generation of monsters like way less conducive than it really should be. Especially given that freezing is the end, like it's permanent in this game. So we're gonna go to town and we're gonna get the ball rolling. Because everyone else is in the fridge except for Shenron, and they're all end of life, so it's time to combine. Hello. So, obviously, our guys thus far are lined up accordingly. And, yeah, they're a little imbalanced, but you do what you can, right? Anyway, Jimmy is going to fuse with Naomasa. And I am going to use a combination item. I've picked up a couple along the way. Do not have an accuracy stone. It's the one stone I don't have, so we'll use a strength stone for that. Those are basically the only combo items in this game. Weird, right? So, now I get to pick what result I get, and it gives you the stat breakdown for what that will look like. Actually, it's like just getting another peacock would actually... Wow, it's like 100 stat point difference on everything. It's way stronger. Is that because it's a question mark breed, or is... I do not really know how fusion in this game works, I'll be honest. I haven't fused monsters all that much in Monster Rancher 4. But, yeah, up and away, it blows the other options out of the water, so I hate to not be able to make a cross fusion. I was gonna pick a Gila, but, like, that's worth it just for the starting stats, so that's how we're gonna do it. So, this ostentatious little guy will be the leader. What a cool monster. Already recorded in the book. Take the monster home. I will. And it needs a name. Which is certainly a thing. I hadn't actually stopped to think about that because I wanted to get the ball rolling again. So... Okay, I know what to do. As his forerunner was Jimmy, this one, they'll be Billy. The Lee twins from Double Dragon. He punches guys, it makes sense. Next, we need to retire Shenron, who also ended up really weird and lopsided. But honestly, I was kind of going against type. Dinos don't respond well to the intelligence speed training I was trying to put him through. Which is unfortunate, but I think still a workable scenario. Anyway, combining. So now we're going to go ahead and fuse... Let's see, they're a little out of order now. So let's do Titania and Oberon. Oberon is likely the most successful, but whatever. I'm not going to worry about it too much. So we're going to use a Speed Stone. So, Faralina, Agio, Pink Princess. See, Agio is kind of the worst choice, just objectively the worst. And the choice in Pink Princess and Faralina is 40 points in accuracy and about 20 points distributed randomly elsewhere. I would really like to know if anyone knows how the fusions work exactly, but I'm going to take Pink Princess. Yeah, I'll have to work on accuracy, but that's built into the strategy that I have in mind, so don't worry about it too much. Plus, I think it would be cool to have a cross-fusion. I prefer it to have traits of its parents. It's a completely superfluous thing to harp on, I know, but I do. Yes. Ah. The child of Oberon and Titania. You know, really should write itself, but I didn't plan for this very well. I'm gonna name her... You know what? I'm gonna take the lazy way out and just give her a short name. She's Faye. She's a fairy, she's Faye. Never claimed to be the most creative man on Earth. Or a Snek, for that matter. And our last couple, Shinron and Frog, who were honestly kind of the problem childs of both of the groups they were part of. So I'm really hoping their child ends up being a little less disappointing. And we're going to use a Life Stone. Okay, so we have Kirin, Mushtan, and Aloha Saurian, which seems to be like the worst in everything. Yeah, like they share... Kirin and Mushtan share the same intelligence starting stat. That's interesting. Accuracy goes all over the place. Life is definitely highest with Mushtan. It's the lowest with Aloha Saurian. But both of them are supposed to be speed-based. It's a curiosity why Aloha Saurian has the highest speed. I was not expecting it to be this stark, I'll be honest. Accuracy and speed definitely lean Aloha Saurian. Intelligence and life, on the other hand, is literally anyone but. You know what? I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit here, and the metagamer in me wants to go with one of these guys, but the rancher who ranches for fun wants Aloha Saurian. Shield before the sword, I always say. And all going well, my strategy should allow that all their stats to be benefited in a really good way. Okay, yep. So, Shinron and Frog. I'll be honest, I don't have high hopes for this one. Let's see. I'm gonna name you... You know, I'm half tempted to name it Liability. You know what? That's an idea. I'll name you Risky. Because that's how I feel about this entire proposition. Or alternatively, I'm naming you after the pirate captain in the Shantae games. This depends on how you look at it. So, we're done here. And let's take a look at our new recruits. So yeah, Lily, Faye, and Risky. Which I feel is a pretty apt naming scheme. So, right away you'll notice a few things different. First being that they have a lot more attacks. They have a couple of their parents' traits, so honestly not the ones I was really hoping for. But honestly, it's not a bad start for him. You also notice he's D rank. And you're like, Snek, why would that be? Well, I got now Mas at A rank. If you fuse two A rank monsters, they start their life at D rank. In fact, if you refuse two S ranked monsters, they start their life in the C rank. So he's actually going to have to work a little less hard in the early life just to make up for the common ground that his parents already covered. I think that's a really great feature, and I'm actually surprised it wasn't used in later Monster Rancher games, because it wasn't. Faye, on the other hand, is a little bit stronger than an off-the-disc monster. The higher bonding will definitely help, though. Pheromone and Sniper should be decent enough. Why are they all chubby? I wasn't spoiling them that much. And Risky over here. Yeah, no, he's a bit stronger than an off-the-disc. Couple attacks to his name. And of course, none of them got to keep Windlore, which is really unfortunate. Anyway. So, as I said, I have all new gadgets, some of which are familiar, some of which are definitely not. So, what's the plan? What is this insanity that I have planned here? Well, I will show you. It's very simple. You guys aren't going to be joining me during the grind. I'd rather you guys not have to suffer that fate. He's gonna start... Right. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this run so you guys don't have to watch the entire scheduling process. Oh, good start for everyone except Risky. Ah, boy, that feels prophetic, doesn't it? Okay, so, this is a lot going on all at once, so let me give you the rundown. Our Peacock here is going to be primarily using the fan for speed and attack, the Flying Target for accuracy, and the Rodeo for HP. This should get 3 stat net gain overall. Now, these two are going to be sharing their gadgets, but alternating them. Primarily moving to the Running Machine, the Thunder Machine, occasional use of the Phonograph, and periodic use of the Flying Target. This will get them a net gain in 4 stats, specifically being HP, accuracy, speed, and intelligence. If this goes well, and I'm hoping it does, you will actually see monsters much stronger than those that came before. Monsters that will see us through to the end of the game. I will see you guys on the other side of this whenever that happens to be, because unfortunately, I have to grind. And I'll see you guys there. Greetings, everyone. This is the Hipster Snek. And at long last, I have indeed returned to playing Monster Rancher 4, though that description might be a little deceptive on account that I had not stopped once I resumed playing a couple of months ago. I'll get into that here in a second. I triggered this little cutscene, and I wanted to share it because, well, as I recall, this is pretty cute. Oh, so this is Snek's ranch. It is. It's been modified quite a bit since the people at home had seen it last. Oh, Mrs. Morrow, what have you come all this way for? Well, first of all, I brought a gift. Cake. Oh, is Rio here today? Rio? She's still sleeping, I think. Oh, well, that's perfect. Then we can talk openly. Huh? I realize it's kind of sudden, but Snek, what do you think of my dear Philia? You literally named her the state of attraction? Like, I don't know what to take away from that, to be honest. It's almost like this game is essentially adjacent to a Rune Factory sequel. Albeit, you know... When was the first Rune Factory released? I'll have to look that up. What do I think of her? Oh, I was the same. When I was young, it wasn't easy expressing my feelings. That's how I let my first love slip away, and that's just the point. I mean... First time you fall in love, most people are pretty young, so it's almost to be expected, honestly. The point. Yes, I just can't bear to watch Philia going through the same thing without lending her some help. Oh, I want to ask how you feel. Well, what do you think of Philia? A nice girl, wouldn't you say? Well... That would probably be about my response, yes. Come on, do tell me, be a man, spit it out, come on there. Grandma! Oh, Philia, don't tell me you came after me on a dragon. What in the world are you doing, sneaking off and taking a boat all the way here? Well, you stopped raising your voice in front of Snek. Oh my, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if my grandma troubled you. Bye then. They're gone. Boy, that Felia is a real whirlwind. Good morning. Something up? Oh, Rio. No, it's nothing. Well, should we get started with another day? Nice recovery there, buddy. So, as I was saying earlier, I kind of stopped playing. I burned out, guys. I did Monster Ranchers 1, 2, Advance 2, and like the first half of 4 back to back to back to back. So I was already a little burned out. I love these games, and 4 is among my favorite games ever made, and I love it even though I acknowledge many of its flaws. You guys got to understand. I needed some time to do literally anything else. And Digimon Cyber Sleuth was a really good diversion. But someone, I forget who it is, and I apologize because I'm terrible with names to start. Someone suggested I actually show a little bit of what I've been doing training-wise, and I thought, hey, that's a good idea. So, Billy here is kind of our trailblazer. He's been doing fairly well. I can't really get his HP to go up, though I've been trying. I've been trying this kind of experiment with my gadget setup that on paper, it should be raising 4 stats, power, accuracy, life, and speed. In reality, it really raises like 2.5. It's not perfect, but he's come a long way, and I think he should be at the B rank pretty quickly. Again, wind element is best element. And I think he's a pretty good roster of skills. Not bad. Yeah, all my monsters tend to get fat because the way you feed monsters in this game is so much different. Faye has been my all-rounder. She's actually responded really well to her training course. Again, it's a 4-stat build kind of deal. The problem is, unlike Billy, she's not, like, super excelling in any one thing in particular. Yeah, I get the feeling she's going to end up a bit on the mediocre side. And poor Risky. I named him so accurately because I was trying to raise it to be an intelligence monster like his parents. You see why that might have been a bad idea? He gets almost nothing but physical moves. Like, intelligence has no place on a dino in this game, or a Zoom, rather. Just, like, even if those other 3 move slots are all intelligence-based moves, it was a complete crapshoot. Complete waste of time. And they made a huge mistake doing it this way. Ah, good. He has a tournament coming up. That should be hilariously awful. I've been just kind of moving as necessary their schedule around. Now, Faye has been going on a course of alternating between the Thunder Gadget and the running machine, which has worked pretty okay. She seems to respond well to that kind of training. And rest. Here, I'll kind of show you why I've been doing it this way, and you guys are free to... Wow, that's bad. Okay, so you want to know the most important thing I've gotten in the meantime? It's this thing. This is the wind drum. And the wind drum has this effect where everything that's adjacent to it, it has a 1 block reach in every direction. Every gadget in its proximity, in 1 step in every direction, gets a huge bolster to how serious the monsters are taking their training. Like, I am astounded that not only had I not found this thing in a previous playthrough, despite beating this game 4 or 5 times front to end, that I've only just found it now, but the fact that it's so good. Now, this is an intense gadget, so as you see, it takes a lot out of them. Now, Faye and Risky were alternating machines. When she was on the Thunder machine, he would be on the running machine, and vice versa. However, I have changed, and now the fan is the primary gadget of choice for both Billy and Risky. A thing that I had to learn kind of the hard way is, she actually really did give me a piece of cake. That's very cute. The thing that I've realized after many years of playing this game, and I still love this game, but there are flaws. Chief among them is the gadget system is not well balanced at all. Um, if you look at a complete list of available gadgets in the game, you're going to see some pretty huge oversights. And because any gadget that raises any stat is considered a gadget for that stat, like the rodeo raises HP, I think at the cost of accuracy. Um, so it's like, oh, this is an HP gadget. But then again, so is the running wheel. Or the, I forget, it was the fan of the running wheel. The point is, there's only like 3 gadgets per stat type. And they didn't really do a comprehensive job balancing it as well as they should have. It's kind of the point. Now, Monster Rancher 4 is already kind of the slowest paced Monster Rancher game of all of them, I would argue. And that can be great if you're just trying to enjoy and relax and play the game. It can be nightmarish for people like me who are trying to make content with it because the game is just that slow. Oh, yeah. I also tend to over-prepare because I always think my enemies should be way stronger than they are. It's like, even though Risky had a really bad start, I think he'll be able to win this just fine. No real issues. This is actually my first time raising a Zoom in Monster Rancher 4, and let's just say I learned a lot from the experience. The thing that can be really, really discouraging is the lifespans in 4 are relatively short, and, like, it takes so long to raise monsters up to where you were story-wise. Oh, and the joke with this monster, you see how high his intelligence stat is? He has no intelligence-based moves. All of his attacks are physical. That's the joke. But yeah, it can get really discouraging, and honestly, it's one of those things that caused me to burn out, because I pretty much raised the entire second generation just desperately trying to get the training gadgets I needed and wanted, and I still don't feel 100% satisfied, especially because it's been a while. I think we should be by soon. We should be able to reset our ranch the way we need to. But yeah, it was really discouraging to realize just how inefficient my intelligence strategy was for Risky. So, he should be good for the fan. She should be resting. He should be resting. Most of these gadgets are strong enough that they basically mandate you rest every other week. But let me check my calendar real quick. There's no way he can take advantage of that. Faye might be able to go ahead and promote. If that's the case, I think Billy is probably good to try to spearhead. This is going to be a bit of a slice of life update. I can't promise a whole lot of genuine progress, but I kind of want to give you guys a more... Usually I've been cutting it out. Okay, I've been cutting out the grinding because it's just that. It's just grinding. See, now that we have the wind drum, the fan is just so much better, because technically the wind drum's influence goes like all the way back here. And that's because some of the animations for gadgets that may not even queue every week influence how much space they have to take up. Again, like, really not balanced in that respect. I read somewhere that watermelon's like the best thing to feed your monster in this game. I forget where I read that. I'll actually have to do some research on that. I try not to learn too much about the under the hood stuff. I feel it cheapens the experience a tiny bit. Like, I've always seen like method raising for Monster Ranchers 1 and 2, and I don't enjoy that. That's not fun for me. It results in me taking a pretty staggering loss when I was in Mr. Moosebone's Monster Rancher 2 tournament a few months ago. But I had fun. I had fun just doing it for doing its sake. I didn't really care if I won or lost. Now, when I'm fighting against the computer, that's different. I care if I win or lose if I'm against this stupid computer. I'm really going to try to get back to this as much as I can, guys. Within reason. Like I said, the Flesh Snow Cup. You guys saw that, right? Future me, take a screenshot of that. That's hysterical. The Flesh Snow Cup. Like, it's not the only English we see in the game, but it's definitely the funniest. Another thing about Monster Rancher 4, and something that I really only noticed while doing a Let's Play of it, is the fact that the game seems to generally favor the defense over the offense. By that I mean, things like Final Guts can happen repeatedly. And I don't think there's a hard cap on how much it can happen, but I've seen it happen like 3 and 4 times in a row before. And I heard someone like asking, there's one of the comment sections that's been a while, I'm sorry guys. Someone was asking about the animation where the monster like puts up their hands and like guards. I think that's the same mechanically as just like the attack missing, I think. So it's, I don't think that's anything special, to be honest. Come on, attack, dude. You know you wanna. Wow, he actually hit me. Well, now you die. I don't know, that's just the observations that I've had, is it seems the game favors defense in general. Like, really, really hyper-defensive builds tend to be really good in the PS2 trilogy. Like, that's actually going to be a huge thing when I get to Monster Rancher Evo. And yes, I'm still going to do Monster Rancher Evo. It's still going to be a stream. I promised that. It's still happening. Now, that being said... Monster Rancher Evo is one of those games... Yeah, I guess all of them are going to rest. I hate it when that happens, though. Sometimes I mess up the scheduling and then end up, like, resting twice in a row. Missed opportunity. Whatever, everyone needs a day off. Lazy day on the ranch. Gotta have those from time to time, right? Yeah, no, the promises about having Evo as a stream is still on. But, as I was saying, I don't look up guides. He's fine. I don't look up guides for... Yeah, alright. I don't look up guides for raising. It's more fun to do it in a more organic way. I don't know. You can argue it's not as efficient. I suppose you might have a point, but it's like... It's not fun to turn a video game into algebra homework. At least it's not fun for me. I know there are some people out there who like really get into like optimized play, and for that I can't disagree. If that makes you happy, by all means, do it. Kubrick. You think that's supposed to be Kubrick, like Stanley Kubrick? I don't know. Oh, I didn't know he was the same species. Yeah, his stats are just all over the place. Risky is not gonna... Risky is not gonna blow anyone's socks off, is what I'm saying. Watch, now that I've said that, something dumb's gonna happen. I'm gonna get to the final boss, and it's gonna be Risky who delivers the final hit, right? Gallo. Like, he was trying to call him just... That was the joke about calling him yellow because he's a Suezo, but no, he's not even yellow. I hate that so much. Monster Rancher 4 also has this really annoying thing where monsters just have a predisposition towards becoming bullish or timid, and it never, ever, ever goes away. It's basically the same as regular confusion in Monster Ranchers 1 and 2, but bullish, they constantly move forward, and timid, they constantly move away. But the problem is, they never stop doing it. If they're predisposed to doing it, they will always do it their entire lives, regardless of bonding. And that's, again, you got to acknowledge the flaws, and they become really obvious when you're playing the game the way I have been. Gosh, I just noticed how awful his guts regen is. Fun fact, I picked up Fire Emblem Engage recently. And really, between Monster Rancher and Fire Emblem, it really just kind of reinforces my belief that statistics are just black magic. They don't mean anything. It's all guess. It's all guessing. You miss on a 99% chance sometimes, you hit on a 1% chance sometimes. Who knows? Who cares? The game's gonna cheat anyway. I don't know. Is that my experience? Has anyone else, like, seen stuff like that happening? It's like I think in the Monster Rancher 1, we had a monster I was fighting who went into confusion and then still attacked me despite being in the middle of confusion. And I might be muting these on the ranch segments because just I'm so frustrated dealing with that. Oh yeah, this is basically the best accuracy gadget I have access to. So occasionally I put him on the running Mac to try to split the difference because it also boosts accuracy. But honestly, the accuracy gadgets are some of the worst in the entire game. The regular target is way too big and way too underpowered. There should have been a very clear and concise proportion to this gadget takes up this much space, ergo it's that much more powerful. Like the flying target should have been the basic target gadget, and then like the big gadget for the target. I don't have it anymore. I sold it. But the big target where you punch the rocks and stuff should have been the higher tier version. And it's frustrating to encounter that. 100%! You don't see that very often. That's awesome. Yep, let's take some time out and praise both our monsters for jobs well done. Just kind of bonk her on the head with my gigantic Looney Tunes hands. How about melon? Melon is big and filling. Melon is good for you. I know there's a lot of people who don't like cantaloupe, but I'm not one of them. I actually like cantaloupe. It's not my favorite. Look at you go. Good job, big guy. 100% definitely mandates praising, because, like, you don't see that in this game very much. Watermelon. Is he, like, pecking his way through the rind in order to eat the pulp, or is he, like, pecking the seeds out? You guys think I get better results if I sold the well and bought another wind drum? I'll have to do an experiment for that. Might be worth it just to have the thunder machine be more efficient. Banana. He probably wasn't hungry enough to mandate that, but they do better in training if they're already full, so whatever. So, there's something I want to check real quick. There's a particular event, and I don't know what triggers it, but there is a particular thing that we can do, and I want to see if it's available yet. Oh, everything going okay? Beach is great, I'm telling you. Okay, he's not ready yet. Eventually, we're going to come here, and there's going to be an event with Yuri being here with Gunwale. And it leads to a small power-up that is not explained anywhere in-game and doesn't even really make sense if you know the means to the madness. But we'll come back to that. Rest, rest, not rest. What did you do last? Resting a whole bunch because of the tournaments. So let's check his stats, see where he kind of is in rotation. Still need to work on power more than anything else. We're gonna put him on the fan. No. Yeah. That'll do nicely. Yep, we're seeing very consistently high success rates now that I have the wind drum. I don't know, I'm afraid of giving up the well because if the stress gets too high, but like stress hasn't generally been an issue. But I got the well really early in the game. He's fine, I'll actually feed him when he's resting. Good job. Maybe you're not a complete failure after all, like your parentage was. It's not my fault, and no, it's actually, I'm the rancher. It technically is extremely, by definition, my fault. I just stock up on some oily oil. Oh well. Life goes on. I think she can do this. I don't think getting to the C rank will be particularly prohibitive for her. It's a suzerain. I really like suzerains. I don't know, I just think they're super cute. I don't know if I talked about it yet or not, and it's been so long, I might as well just bring it up for its own sake. The very first Monster Rancher game I ever got was actually Monster Rancher Explorer on the Game Boy Color. I forget if I asked for it specifically, but it was a Christmas present. And I forget if I asked for it specifically or if my parents just knew I loved Monster Rancher and just happened to find it. But I played the crap out of it. I didn't 100% it because 100% that game is just tedious. But I did really good. I got like everything like worthwhile to find in that game. And that was actually like because for me, the first time. When that misses, that's just like really disheartening. So it's a great way to start because it lowers guts. Monster Hunter Explorer was for me the first time I had ever seen Suzerain or Psyroller. So to me, that was like my introduction to those monsters. So it was really cool, especially as Suzerain was a way to get extra lives in that game if you got enough of them. You had to find the bell, and it summoned the Suzerain from the exit door, and then you could collect the Suzerain, and it would try to, like, kinda steer towards you, but it really didn't have particularly good ability to navigate the level. Because most of the monsters in that game did not. Yeah, we're overprepared. I tend to do that. It's probably part of the reason why I have pacing issues in this game is I overestimate how strong the enemies are. Honestly, you do more fighting in the adventures than you do in the tournaments, and they're scaled completely differently. Like, I actually think the adventures are... In the early game, they're scaled easier, and in the later game, they're scaled harder. Or that's always been my particular impressions. I do want to thank you guys for being so patient with me. I know this is a really popular Let's Play series, and I know y'all have been really frustrated waiting for me. And I know this isn't the update you really want to see. You want to see me making progress and pushing the story. But I also wanted to take a moment to just kind of chill out. This year's been pretty nuts, let's just say. And so all the grace you guys have given me has been just like huge. And thank you for that. I'm going to try to get back on this. It may not be every week, to be clear. But I'm going to try to make this the regular Friday special as often as I can till we beat it. Because, again, there is some non-zero chance. Like, these monsters are already like 1.5 years old. So if I can't, like, really blitz the last leg of the game, well, we're in trouble. And I don't want to raise another generation. I don't. I'll be honest, I'd rather just rush to the ending. Are there Game Shark codes for the PS2 Monster Rancher games? I don't know. If there are, should I use them? Like, I mean, I know there are because I use the one for the book, but like, I mean, for like their stats, like, oh, just like set all their stats to 999 so I can beat the game, be done with it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. It's tempting some days, though. A lot of it is I've been a little more experimental. I've been a little more willy-nilly. If it requires another generation of monsters, then gadget shop, excellent. I don't think I have anything to appraise. Oh, no, I do. Already appraised. Sucks. Already appraised. Awesome. I'm going to jump ahead real quick. I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment here and see what I can do. I'll catch you guys here in just a minute. Alright. I did some minor modifications. Let's see. For starters, I brought back the phonograph, which I realized would be a good one for Faye in particular. And I decided to get rid of the rodeo for the life blade. And I am indeed attempting my experiment to see if the 2 wind drums are better than 1 strategy. $73? That's downright pitiful by comparison. And around the 70... Oh, he's, like, really hungry. There you go. That's fine. I'll get to rest next week for your tournament anyway. There we go. I don't really like praising around the 70% mark. So as said, the wind drum affects 1 square in every direction. So it's just enough for the life blade and phonograph to fall into it. And here's my other wind drum over on this side. Yeah, you know, I think it's probably better to feed them while they're resting, right? That's his theory, but I'm going to roll with it. We're going to probably do a few more tournaments and call it a day, and I'm going to really, really make a push to try to get these guys as far as I reasonably can. I mean, the game does try to cut out some grind, because, as you see, C rank, C rank, E rank. Now, one of the things that the game does that's a little different, you know, A rank, breeder. If you fuse together monsters that have decent ranks, they'll start off above rank E. But that translates into not very much, because if you combine 2 S-ranked monsters, you get a C-ranked monster to start. And if it's less than that, well, it barely makes any impact at all. You have to get pretty late into the game to even see that as a mechanic. So the phonograph will help with intelligence and life. Let's put her on that today and just see how that goes. And how are you? No, I want to look at your stats. Really got to work on that power stat. It's good that his speed is so high. Let's throw him the running machine. Actually, Fan might actually be better since we're trying to get his... Yeah, because we can just put him on the life blade afterward. Okay, it's decided. Let's do it. Those numbers are looking better. Wow, that was just the phonograph? Wind Drum really is the best assist gadget, isn't it? You're doing alright. Yeah, look at you go. You're all like Zen Master now. Who knew that all I needed was one particular effect gadget? I know there's others in the game, I just haven't unlocked them all, so I don't really know in that respect. It's a loop of some kind. Like I put the camera really close to it, and I could hear a sound, and it sounded a little bit like. Oh, I didn't feed. I'm being so scatterbrained. It's fine. It's fine. He's got it. The sound the phonograph was making sounded kind of like the sounds the shrine makes in Monster Rancher 1. But I don't know if that was deliberate or just me hearing things. Yeah, I think Billy's got this. That's still starting with 70 guts. That's still good. I actually noticed I used Plow Kick and I think it was Bird Combo, which has like a 49 guts move. And the thing I noticed was because of his strong wind affinity, that Plow Kick was actually doing more damage despite costing half the guts to use. Your opponent quit. Probably a smart decision. Yeah, I over-prepare because I'm nervous, but because I do that, I waste a lot of time. And reflecting on it, I probably could have been well through the C rank already, and... Final guts. You can tell it's happening because it doesn't just end the fight, it just hangs for a second. Final Guts needs to have some kind of double edge to it. Like, as it stands, it's just the best natural trait to have. Like, I think a good way to balance it was like, oh, it can only trigger if you're above a certain amount of guts, and you lose some guts for activating it. I think that'd be a fair trade-off. What do you guys think? Like, oh, you have to have more than 40 guts for it to trigger, and you lose 20 guts every time it triggers. So that way, if you're like 80 guts, and you get knocked down really, really fast, like, you'd have the chance to maybe have it trigger twice. You know, I think that is a much more fair balance. Okay. Oh, so I put them in for a tag tournament, so that should be fun. And Risky's good for the next official. You know, instead of Billy, why don't we put Faye in? And they can go in the tag match together. That'll give Billy his 3rd star. Yeah, okay. Let's just try to shoot to get Billy into B rank this update, and we'll call it a week. A real world week, not an in-game week. Those are 2 different things altogether. Almost said 2 different monsters, but I suppose that's also true. Alright, let's feed my guys. Yeah, the double wind drum may drive up like how intensely it empties their hunger. But like again, my monsters tend to be fat anyway. Maybe it's just perfectly fine that way. I think I'm going to try to make it a point to feed them only when they're on their resting weeks, since I basically only let them train 1 week at a time at this point, because it's so focus intensive. But maybe that's the best way to do it. Alright, so next for Billy is going to be... It's got to be accuracy. We've got to get accuracy up. So you're going to do flying target, because honestly, again, the space is not worth having the full target. She's in a rest, because, well, life goes on. And... put you on... Yeah, that'll do for now. I had kind of schedules laid out, and I was kind of running on autopilot for a while, but honestly, we're trying to fight so frequently now. Yes, those are the kind of numbers I want to see happening right now. Especially because it doesn't seem like intense focus on a gadget, like, forces the negative portion as much. Like, that -2 was still -2 before I put a wind drum on these things. As long as I'm resting like every other week, I don't think their stress is going to build up at all either. So I don't think losing the well was a bad idea. Okay, and... Our adorable pink princess is going into a tournament. You know what? It's fine. I don't need them to be completely stuffed to the gills, and they need to lose weight anyway. Let's make the best of it, right? I think her speed alone will make her viable for this. I mean, Billy is just killing dudes in one shot, but I think Faye is better balanced, but Faye is also a little more defensive, I guess. Yeah, I somehow get the feeling this is going to be fine. Well, she's starting off with 99 guts anyway. See, that's why I like starting with that really big gut strain. I mean, it's a lot of guts on my part, but if it hits, oh man, it's so worth it. Okay, you're just gonna waste all your guts. That's cool, that's cool. Stop that. Get in there. She's had that quirk since she was a baby, and I've just learned to accept that it happens way more than it should. A-ring? I-ring? Ear? I got nothing. Looks like a little lion. Is that supposed to be some kind of play on words? I doubt it. I know the Japanese word for lion is shishi. I'll be honest, I don't like color Pandoras. I just don't. I don't know what it is about them. I just don't like them. And I'll be honest, if I had to pick a design, I like their Monster Rancher 2 design the best. I think 3 was a disservice art style-wise. Like, they're just 3 little, like, box things. At least back when they were, like, the caterpillar thing, the fact that there were multiple faces was a surprise when it used certain attacks. Really? Faye, really? Okay, fine. See, this is why I want you to get close and use Raycast, so I don't lose a bunch of guts for you missing. Starlight's powerful, but it misses a lot more often. Hurts a lot more when you're dropping 25 instead of like 12 or 13. I forget how much Raycast is. But yeah, I think we're going to be fine. But we can probably plow right through the B rank. I won't drag you guys through that. Do you guys want more like this? Do you want to see Life on the Ranch updates? I honestly don't find it particularly compelling, and a lot of the time I just don't know what to say at that point. But if that's something you guys would really want to see, I'd be happy to oblige. Check the calendar. Okay, looks like everything is moving apace. They'll rest this week, train this week, rest this week. Train, rest, and then Billy's going to end up resting twice in a row, whatever. And Risky will get out of E rank, and that's good stuff. Yep. Like, all the gadgets I have are pretty high tier for the most part, so they take a lot out of them, and the Wind Drum is definitely contributing. But it seems like this is probably the optimal solution to our problem. I need them to get stronger, I need them to get stronger quickly, and we need to, like, get on to the higher ranks. I know for a fact you don't need to max out stats in order to have a viable monster for endgame, because that's the ending. The end of the story is not the end of the game difficulty progression-wise, because it unlocks the plus dungeons, which I'm not going to do, by the way. I've done them before, they're not fun. And it pretty much requires, like, the highest of S-rank monsters to get anything really out of it. Let's look at his stats again. You'd think I had this memorized by now, but I totally don't. HP is suffering, so we're going to put him on Life Blade. I don't know what a 100% on a Life Blade is going to look like, but honestly, it's so much easier to use in the Rodeo, and it doesn't come with all the downsides the Rodeo has. And he was on the running machine last, so we should put him on the fan. Get to it! 60. Faye, what are you doing? 22. That's okay, I guess. I mean, I'm gonna praise him for it, but the thing is, the gadgets really are imbalanced. There's no two ways about it. I'm glad that you're getting 100% and such, Billy, but like, holy crap, guys. I'll feed them in the rest week. Like, I'm kind of glad they did away with the gadgets. Because honestly, it seems like they were very novel, and I liked the novelty, and the customization is really cool. But the deeper you read into the system and how they set it up, it's not great. I think Melon is pretty filling, and she's pretty hungry. That works good. We eat carrot this time. Keep your diet varied. I don't know if that matters like it does in Advance 2, but we're here anyway. He's really turned into a carnivore. When he was a baby, his favorite thing was squid, and then it kind of became like a bunch of sweet things, and now it's back to beef. I'd be really curious to know how their life phases work under the hood. Just like in general. Alright. Everything's coming along, I guess. I may just have to accept that Billy's going to be a glass cannon going forward. There may not be anything else for it. If I focus a great deal of time just getting his HP up, it may not be worth it in the long run versus all his other stats. He tends to fight really aggressively anyway, so like... Team Breaker gave up. They didn't even want to try. Team Shiro, which simply means white. Are the monsters white? That's the real question. The guard is a little bit white. Mostly blue, though. Yeah, I may just have to give up trying to balance his HP stat and hope for the best. Just make it so he's like the, One Punch Man minus the defensive element. Just go for the kill as fast as possible, right? Maybe I should have raised him to be a tank. Maybe that would have been better. I don't know how Raiden's do in that regard. I know Garus can go either way. Garus can be tanks or speedsters. It really just kind of depends on how you want to use them. Yep, Final Guts, of course. Yeah, when your enemy has a 99% hit rate, there's really no downside to countering anymore. It's not like they're gonna miss. Because, I don't know, I've seen misses on 99% chances. Never in my favor, mind you, always against. People like Faye more than Billy. Wonder why. I know why, it's a Tecmo game. Of course I know why. Alright, good job, gang. Have them rest and sink, just so I can get that last little pip of fatigue off. And to go to Visley, get some oily oil. We'll do that this week. Everyone's doing a great job. I mean, I know how to raise them, I just don't know how to pace them. I like how she gets all tired too, like she did anything, even though it was poor Billy had to do all the heavy lifting. I mean, I guess it's really just the end result of just a bunch of really different strategies at work here. I don't usually go so eclectic and all over the place. My monster raising is typically very safe and measured, which I did kind of want to avoid for the sake of a Let's Play, but if I don't make it this generation, guys, I'm going to play it very safe going forward. We need oily oil. Actually, do I have stuff to sell? I forget how long it's been since I've been on an expedition. No, I actually have enough. Good. Or I have sold it off, and I have enough money. It's expensive. But at least I have some on hand now. What about food? Wish it told me how many I have on hand. Let's grab a random handful of some of their favorite stuff. Billy's kind of a trash compactor. He'll just eat anything. It's the others who get a little more picky. Alright, that'll do it. Not like I need to have, 6 digits worth of gold on hand at all times, but I don't know. There's no real danger of running out of money in this game either. Just go on an expedition, fill up your bag, and sell all the best vendor trash. Okay, she's going to be doing that. So I want you on running machine. I know that's lowering his attack, but we're going to get to that. Don't worry. Risky. I think the risk was allowing you to stay on the ranch. Good job, buddy. Someone around here takes this seriously. I think this is one of the few machines that's actually in range of both. But he's still, like, honestly, 65? Really? Yes, you should be ashamed. Her entire lineage has been one mistake after another. This week that was her? Yes. She's fine. As long as she doesn't have fatigue, it's fine. Alright, let's wrap this up, guys. Kara, Noel, and Dennis. Make a joke about one of these things not being like the other, but barring Noel, those are all kind of common names. When I was younger, I really hated gut-sapping strategies. But the older I get, the more okay I've become with them. Especially in a win in Rome kind of sense. Alright. Similar stat distribution. Kinda, she has more defense than me, but eh. I'm not too concerned. I'm gonna let her take the first whack. Especially if she takes that 3% shot. Oh, I don't like that. Go back to that 3% one. Yeah, use that one. That one's much better. Perfect. That was just enough time to build up my guts, so I can do that, and whiff. This battle has been a net zero investment. Come on, do Do Mi So again. Come on. Hey, music guys in the audience right now, is that actually Do Mi So being played out when it uses that attack? get out of the range of that attack. Alright. The real threat is going to be Dennis, who's won both of her previous two fights, too. With an Agyo. I really like Agyos. It's kind of a shame they vanished after the PS2 generation. Actually, them and Lesiones. Wait, no. Were Lesiones in Monster Rancher DS? I don't remember. To go to Legend Cup and look that up now. I've used a couple Agyos. I like them. I think they're fun. Pretty high hit rate no matter what I do. Best thing I can do is try to bring it down to my level. That's where this idiot gets a lucky shot at the last second. Of course. Finally. Thankfully, she has relatively high HP, so even though her defense is not all that great, she can at least take a hit or two and generally be okay. Generally. Yay! Alright. That worked out pretty good. Alright. Okay, Billy. It's time. You need to do this and win. I mean, win or lose, this is where today's episode will come to an end. And again, I want to thank you guys for being so cool about how long it's been for me to get back to this. I'm going to do better from now on. Because I really want to finish out 4, and I think the Evo will be a great opportunity to undertake streaming for the first time. So I'm really, really happy about the opportunity to do that. And just to make sure that we're a little over-prepared. He doesn't even, like, take it from me. He just kind of does his happy animation. Alright, let's do this. I think he'll be fine. I don't think there's anything to worry about at this point. Wind is the best element in the game, fundamentally, so... Well, that's a good start. Bunsen. Like Bunsen Honeydew. Showing my age again, aren't I? Yep, final guts. Stay down. For your own sake, just stay down. I know Monster Rancher falls firmly into that shonen fighting subgenre where it's like, you know, the hot blood and will of the fighter. Just stay down. Once I've hit you for double your HP, you should not be in the mood to get back up again, no matter how much Chumbawamba you listen to. Man, I'm really showing my age, aren't I? Alright, let's do this. I find it fascinating that Mochi is one of the locked breeds in 4, and even though unlocking it is super easy, the fact they went out of their way to make that decision is funny to me. Like, one of the first monsters you can legit unlock in this game is a dragon slash Hinger, which is like considered the rarest monster of Monster Rancher 1 because of everything you have to do to get the dragon and the Hinger. In this game, you can just start off with it, but Mochi is locked. Yeah, I think Billy's going to be fine for the B rank, guys. Just a hunch. Might as well just speed run the rank and just get back to A and see what we can do. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for now. Yeah, I don't think anyone's too worried about Risky. That said, thank you guys again for joining me here today. And it's good to get back. I'll catch you guys in the next one.